Hi CAN students, it's Miss Patty. Welcome to art class in my home. I miss all of you so much and I can't wait until we can be back together again. But until then, I'm really grateful we have technology where we can connect in different ways. So this is one way we can connect is a video of an art class. The other cool thing about video is that we can pause anytime. So please use the power of pause in case you need to stop. All right, well today we're going to explore geometric and organic shapes. We are going to make an abstract painting like this one. And I'm going to show you exactly how. But first, let's see what we understand about shapes. Let's look at some geometric shapes. Most of you will be familiar with all these shapes. This is a rectangle and this is a square. Rectangles and squares are similar because they have 4 sides. But with a rectangle, there's 2 sides that are long and 2 sides that are short. And a square, all sides are equal. This is a parallelogram. This is a triangle. A triangle has 3 sides. Tri means 3. So like a tricycle has 3 wheels, anything with 3 sides is a triangle. This is a hexagon. Hex means 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A pentagon has 5 sides because pent means 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A diamond, a circle, and an ellipse. An ellipse is also referred to as an oval. Some of you have used templates in our classroom to trace around to make different things like kites or an oval to make a face. So we see shapes in everyday life. How about organic shapes? What does it mean to be an organic shape? Well, organic means something from nature. So an organic shape is an irregular shape. Have you ever gone outside and looked up in the sky when it's been a cloudy day and seen all those different interesting shapes that clouds make? That's an example of an organic shape, or flower petals, or trees, or animals. I brought an animal to show you. This is Fiona the flamingo. Some of you maybe have read this story. Fiona eats shrimp. Flamingos eat shrimp, so their feathers are pink. But she got tired of being pink, and so she started trying other foods, and eventually she became rainbow colored. I thought she was a good example of an organic shape. Her whole body is an organic shape, but also inside her body, if we look at all of these interesting shapes that are formed to make her feathers, those are good examples of organic shapes. How about this one? This is a coloring page I forgot I had. I haven't finished it yet. Someday I will. And these are examples of a combination of organic and geometric shapes. How many triangles can you see in this image? Any other geometric shapes? How about organic shapes? In order to make our artwork today, we're going to need some supplies. So you're going to need paper. I used watercolor paper to make mine, but many of you don't have watercolor paper at home. You can use drawing paper. Something heavier is best, but printer paper will work too. If you don't have any paper at home, you could always use a piece of cardboard. Even a food box. If you open up the box, the inside of the box that is not printed usually does not have a coating on it and it will absorb water. So you want something that can absorb water. The other things you're going to need, we definitely need a pencil. We're going to be tracing shapes or drawing our own shapes. And you're going to need a black pen or a black Sharpie marker. If you don't have pens or markers and you have a pencil, we'll be able to use a pencil too. You just have to make darker lines. Some washable markers. These are Crayolas. I got them at the dollar store. Or you could use watercolor paint. You also might want to use a ruler or a straight edge to draw some of your shapes. It's good practice to use a ruler. If you want to make a square, then you can make sure that all of your sides are equal. You're going to need some water, a receptacle for water, and a straw. That's the surprise later. Now I've used some other things to make my shapes. I had this box, so I used that to make a square. Toilet paper rolls to make circles, or this is an egg cup. that has a circle, but it also has an organic side to it. So gather your supplies and come back, and we will get started on creating our abstract paintings. Friends, when you're drawing your shapes on your canvas or paper, you want to make sure that you leave enough white space around your shapes. 3 to 5, 6 shapes are enough. You can use your printout of these shapes. If you're able to print, you can cut these out and trace around these as well. So there's lots of options for designing your composition of your painting. After you draw your shapes, you're going to color them in. And I'm just going to do one shape right now on an extra drawing that I made so that I could show you the procedure for turning a geometric shape into an organic shape. Coloring this in. All right, this is the part where this is a magical surprise. You're going to want to get your water and your straw. So with a straw, this is a little bit of science. If you block off the air at the top of the straw with your finger, and feel free to cut this down if it needs to be smaller for you, and stick it in the water. Okay, I'm going to lift my finger off and put it back down again. I've stuck it into the water all the way to the bottom. If you pick it up, that water will stay in the straw until you let some air into the top of the straw. So if you turn your straw upside down like this, the water is still staying in it. Little drip there, but if I take my finger off, there dropped the puddle of water. So you can do this several times where you're picking up a little bit of water. If you want to control it so it doesn't all dump out at the same time, you can release your finger at the top of the straw and just let it drip out. There we go. So that might take a little practice. And remember, this is an abstract painting, so it doesn't matter where your drips go. It's going to be a surprise to see when we use the straw to move that water around on your painting. So that's what we're going to look at next. So friends, I was using the straw to blow air through it and right onto the puddles on my paper. When I do that, it pushes the water around. And you can see this is already getting a change in shape. It's a transformer. So I'm gonna let this dry and then show you the next step after all the water is dry. We're gonna make those organic shapes pop out of that page, really stand out. When you have finished using your straw to push the water or puddles around on your painting and you still have a lot of puddle left, it's okay to take a paper towel and absorb some of that extra water. And that will help your painting dry a little bit faster. Okay friends, once your paint is dry, so this might take a little while, maybe a half an hour, maybe a little sooner. You don't want to draw on it too soon because if the paper is still wet, then it might tear it if you're trying to trace around the shapes. The other thing is with the Sharpie marker, you definitely don't want to get it wet because it won't write if you get it wet. So wait till it's dry. And if you don't have a Sharpie, you have a black pen, or if you have a pencil that's sharp, you can use any of those. So what we're going to do is we're going to help define or make our organic lines really stand out by tracing around them. Now this doesn't have to be perfect. You can trace around it and not actually touch the paint, but just trace around the outside of that organic shape. Trying to be close enough to it, but you don't have to be right on the painted line. In fact, it makes it stand out even more if there's a little bit of white space between your pen or pencil and the little appendage sticking out off of the shape. It does look like an appendage or an arm. There we go. Okay. So now we've got this really cool outline going around our shape. So keep watching and you'll see me do the entire painting.